For more perspective, we'd like to bring in former NYPD Sergeant Felipe Rodriguez. He's also an adjunct professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Felipe, good to see you here, and thank you for joining us. I'd like to start with just this chain of events that police described here tonight. The gunman leaving Vegas, driving across country all the way to New York City, where he literally parks his car in front of this Midtown office, carries a gun, an M4 rifle, right in and starts shooting. Your thoughts about what transpired here tonight?
It's something that, shouldn't have happened. How he was able to cross so many states without even being pulled over. Usually these individuals, their mindset is, I have to get something done. It's almost like the concept of being on a mission. And you can see it from the moment that he jumped out of his vehicle, leaving it in Midtown. That attracts attention. And yet he walked into that building nonchalantly with an M4 rifle. It's a high capacity rifle with a 30-round magazine. And he just went right into that lobby and decided to assassinate a police officer.
Felipe, police said the gunman had mental health history. Can you elaborate on what we know about that and anything about his past?
Well, we do know that a lot of states have enacted mental health laws, red flag laws, and if an individual feels, a family member or someone that's close to him would have thought that he did have some sort of mental issues, why wasn't that enacted? That's something that we're going to have to take a look at and see what Vegas has actually as a program to remove firearms from individuals that have mental health issues. And, it's part of the investigation. We're going to have to go into his cell phone, his social media, all these types of reservations to see why he still had firearms.
Do you believe, Felipe, that the person that was shot on the 33rd floor was the intended victim?
At this point, it's kind of hard to tell. We need to, find the nexus always. When we start these investigations, there's going to be, what was the motive? And at this point, until we ID and actually either through social media form some sort of connection, or even the public were to come forward and provide information, we still won't know that yet. Remember, there's a huge crime scene at this time. You have a huge multi-office building here at this time, and the outside perimeter is also a crime scene.
Felipe, do you get the sense that gunman went in there not wearing heavy gear himself? Do you get the sense he knew how it was all going to end?
Well, not having any heavy gear, it's almost like he was on a death wish. He knew he was going to go in. He was going to try to inflict maximum damage.
What does this tell you about security in office buildings here in New York City?
Well, we're going to have to assess that and see if they had anything in place for what we call an active shooter protocol. The fact that they already had 2 NYPD officers kind of gives me a little bit of concern. Why did we have 2 off-duty officers working in the building past threats?
Absolutely. Former NYPD Sergeant and now adjunct professor at John Jay Criminal College of Justice, Felipe Rodriguez, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Felipe, thanks.